My child, do not scroll past this. I need you to stop exactly what you are doing and listen to me carefully. This is not a coincidence, and you did not stumble upon this message by accident. Before you let another distraction pull your attention away, pause here for a moment. Heaven is sounding an alarm, and I am speaking directly to your spirit today. The enemy has been working overtime to distract you, to pull your focus away from the promises I have spoken over your life, and to cloud your mind with endless noise, anxiety, and spiritual exhaustion. I am stepping in right now to wake you up before it is too late. Do not treat this as just another word to be consumed and forgotten. This is a divine interruption, a holy summons from the throne of heaven, meant specifically for you at this exact hour. You have been feeling inexplicably heavy lately, haven't you? A strange sense of fatigue has settled over your shoulders, a tiredness that sleep does not seem to fix. You wake up feeling drained, your mind immediately racing with 100 different worries, constantly replaying scenarios and stressing over things you cannot control. You find yourself seeking an escape in trivial things, trying to numb that quiet, persistent ache in your soul. Hear me clearly. That numbness is not your natural state. It is a carefully laid trap. The adversary has studied your habits. He knows your weaknesses, and he knows the magnitude of the calling I have placed upon your life. Because he cannot destroy your destiny, he is desperately trying to delay it by keeping you distracted. He uses the mundane tasks, the sudden conflicts, financial pressures, and the overwhelming busyness of your daily life to steal your attention and drain your peace. Wake up, my beloved child. Do not let the thief of time and purpose lull you into a spiritual slumber. I see how hard you have been fighting just to keep your head above water. I see the silent tears you wipe away when no one else is looking, and I hear the broken prayers you whisper when you feel like you have absolutely no strength left to speak. You are not forgotten, and you are not invisible to me. I am right here, standing between you and the chaos that is trying to consume you. The enemy's distractions were meant to make you feel distant from me, to make you believe that my silence meant abandonment. But I have never left your side, not even for a single second. I allowed you to feel this friction, so that you would finally stop, look up, and realize that you cannot fight this battle in your own strength. The time of wandering in this mental fog is over. I am calling you back into alignment today. My child, do you truly understand how the enemy operates against a soul that carries my light? He rarely comes with a loud, terrifying roar that would immediately send you running into my arms for safety. No. His most dangerous weapon is subtlety. He comes as a whisper of doubt when you are already tired. He comes as a sudden wave of insecurity when you see others succeeding, while you feel stuck in a season of waiting. He comes as endless, mindless scrolling, keeping your eyes locked on screens and your mind filled with the world's chaos so that you simply forget to look up into the heavens. I have watched how he carefully places minor irritations, sudden financial hiccups, and unnecessary misunderstandings in your path. His entire goal is to fragment your focus, to make your mind so cluttered and your heart so heavy that you do not have the energy left to pray, to worship, or to seek my face. You thought it was just your own anxiety. You thought you were simply losing your edge, failing at life, or that perhaps you had done something wrong to deserve this season of stagnation. But I am exposing the truth to you right now. It was a coordinated attack to steal your peace and delay your breakthrough. The enemy knows that if you were to fully grasp the power you hold when you are aligned with my spirit, you would become completely unstoppable. He is terrified of your potential. He is terrified of the prayers you pray when your heart is fully surrendered, and he is terrified of the new season I am actively preparing for you. That is exactly why the warfare has felt so intense lately. When you feel the most resistance, the heaviest burdens, and the thickest confusion, it is because you are standing at the very threshold of a massive victory. I have seen the times you felt completely unqualified, the moments you looked in the mirror and wondered if your best days were already behind you. Those were lies planted specifically to keep you paralyzed in fear. I was holding you in those exact moments, even when your heart was too clouded by distraction and pain to feel my presence. I never withdrew my spirit from you, not even for a fraction of a second. Every time you felt a sudden, unexplainable urge to just pause, take a deep breath, or seek a moment of silence away from the crowds, that was me. That was my spirit gently tugging at your soul, trying to pull you out of the frantic pace the world demands. I am calling you to silence the noise today. You must consciously choose to break your agreement with the lies that say you are falling behind or that you are forgotten. You are not behind. You are exactly where I need you to be, being refined in the fire for the glory that is about to be revealed. Wake up, my beloved, and reclaim the holy focus that was stolen from you. Hear me clearly, my child. I am not exposing these traps to condemn you, nor am I speaking these words to make you feel guilty for the times your faith wavered. I am speaking to you right now as a loving father who sees a dangerous cliff ahead and cannot remain silent while his beloved child wanders toward the edge. You have mistaken my patience for permission to linger in places, habits, and relationships that I never intended for you to stay in. You have allowed certain voices to speak into your life, internalizing the opinions of people who do not know the glorious destiny I have written for you. You have clung to past hurts, constantly replaying offenses and nursing bitterness, believing that holding on to the pain would somehow protect you from ever being hurt again. But bitterness is not a shield, it is a heavy chain. The enemy uses your unforgiveness and your past traumas as heavy anchors to keep you distracted from the future I am trying to pull you into. You must understand that every second you spend looking backwards is a second stolen from your promised land. You have asked me, often with tears streaming down your face in the middle of the night, why I allowed certain doors to slam shut in your face. You wondered why that relationship had to end so painfully, or why that opportunity you prayed so incredibly hard for suddenly vanished. You thought I was punishing you. You thought my silence in those moments meant I was angry with you, or worse, that I simply did not care. But I tell you the absolute truth today. My silence was your greatest protection. I was actively blocking paths that would have led to your emotional and spiritual destruction. I removed people from your life because they were secretly draining your spirit and could not walk with you into the heavy glory of your next season. What felt to you like a brutal rejection was actually my divine redirection. I need you to awaken to the reality of this exact moment. You are standing in a sacred window of time. The heavens are leaning in, and my angels are waiting for your command of faith, but they cannot move on your behalf while you are distracted by the shadows of yesterday. I am drawing a firm line in the sand today. You cannot drag the heavy baggage of your past into the miraculous future I have prepared for you. It is time to drop the dead weight. It is time to release the people who walked away, to forgive the ones who deeply hurt you, and to finally forgive yourself for the mistakes you made when you did not know any better. Wake up, my beloved. Shake off the heavy dust of your disappointments. The enemy's illusion is breaking right now, and my holy light is piercing through your confusion. My beloved, I need you to recognize the true nature of the battle you are in. The sudden spikes of chaos, the unexpected conflicts with the people around you, the sheer exhaustion that makes you want to throw in the towel. These are not signs that you are failing. They are the clearest evidence that you are on the very brink of a massive breakthrough. The enemy does not waste his best ammunition on someone who is not a threat to his kingdom. He is absolutely terrified of the moment you fully realize who you are in me. He knows that the second you shake off this heavy distraction and fix your eyes entirely on my promise, the chains holding your family, your finances, and your future will shatter. He is throwing everything he has at you right now, hoping you will get frustrated and quit just inches away from the finish line. Do not give him that satisfaction. I have given you authority over all the power of the adversary, but you must actively choose to use it. You cannot passively wait for the storm to pass. You must stand up and declare my word over your life. I am calling you to a holy urgency today. The timeline of heaven is moving, and a profound shift is taking place in the spiritual realm around you. I am opening doors of opportunity and favor that have been locked for years, but you must be awake and alert to walk through them. If your mind is consumed by the trivial dramas of the world, by the endless scrolling, and by the fear of what tomorrow might bring, you will miss the divine appointments I have carefully arranged for you. The window of preparation is closing, and the season of manifestation is here. I have heard your cries for change, and I have seen your desperate pleas for a turnaround. But I am telling you now, the breakthrough you are praying for requires your immediate obedience. I am asking you to let go of the things that numb your spirit. Separate yourself from the noise. You must fiercely guard your heart and your mind in this critical hour. Do not let the enemy steal the miracle that is already standing at your door. Wake up, my child, and step into the light. My child, I want you to look closely at the lies the enemy has been relentlessly whispering into your mind. He has been telling you that you are not enough, that your past mistakes have permanently disqualified you from my grace, and that the beautiful future I promised is meant for someone else. He wants you to look at your current circumstances and conclude that I have forgotten you. I am telling you today to stop entertaining the liar. Every time you accept his toxic whispers of unworthiness, you allow him to rewrite the holy identity I paid such an incredibly high price to give you. You are my chosen vessel. You are the victor and not the victim. The adversary knows this, and his only strategy is to keep you so distracted by your own perceived flaws that you never step into your God-given authority. I need you to examine where your time and energy have been going. How many mornings have you woken up with the gentle nudge of my spirit inviting you to sit with me, only for you to immediately reach for the noise of the world instead? You constantly promise yourself that you will pray later, that you will seek my face when your schedule finally clears up and life calms down. But my beloved, life will not calm down on its own. You must actively command the peace I have given you to reign over your chaotic circumstances. Procrastination is one of the most deceptive chains the enemy uses against my children. He convinces you that you have endless tomorrows to get your spiritual life in order, but the truth is that your breakthrough is tied to your obedience today. This is exactly why I tell you to wake up before it is too late. The lateness I speak of is not about me turning my back on you, because my love for you is unconditional. It is about the unnecessary suffering, the prolonged anxiety, and the missed blessings you endure when you step outside the shelter of my daily presence. I have laid out a banquet of peace and profound joy for you, but you have been settling for the cheap crumbs of worldly distraction. I am calling you higher right now. I ask you to turn off the noise and deliberately carve out time to hear my voice. Surrender your distractions to me today, and I will replace your heavy confusion with absolute clarity. Wake up, my precious child. Reclaim your mind. My beloved child, I want you to look deep into the depths of your soul right this very moment. I know the immense suffocating fear you have been carrying about your future. The enemy has relentlessly planted toxic seeds in your mind, convincing you that if you truly step out in faith, you will stumble and lose everything you have worked so incredibly hard to build. He desperately wants you to believe that clinging to the false safety of your current comfort zone is far better than stepping into the unknown, glorious light of my transformation. But I must reveal an absolute truth to you today. The comfort zone you are fiercely holding onto is actually an invisible cage, locking away your true destiny and the massive calling I have placed upon your life. The adversary does not want you to realize that all the power and authority of heaven is standing right behind you. He intentionally creates small, daily storms around you, petty arguments, unexpected financial burdens, sudden conflicts, and profound physical exhaustion, simply to frustrate you and make you surrender right before the massive gates of my glory are about to swing wide open. How many times have you felt an invisible but undeniable pull from within? A quiet, persistent whisper in the depths of your spirit, telling you to forgive that person who broke your heart, to let go of that heavy pain, or to courageously step onto a completely new path. Yet you hesitated. You looked up and told me, "Lord, I will do it tomorrow." Or, "Lord, just wait until I feel more prepared. Wait until the storm finally passes." But my precious child, hear me clearly. Tomorrow is never guaranteed, and procrastination is the deadliest, most silent weapon the enemy uses to ruthlessly steal your appointed time. Procrastination is not careful caution. It is outright disobedience, disguised as human wisdom. When you continuously delay acting on my gentle instructions, you are closing the very doors of miracles that I painstakingly arranged for you before the foundation of the world. I do not demand flawless perfection from you, nor do I require superhuman strength. All I ask for is your pure willingness and your absolute surrender in this very moment. Do not let the paralyzing fear of your past failures continue to dictate the boundaries of your future. The old wounds, the times you were brutally betrayed by those you trusted most, the bitter tears that streamed down your face in the dark, and the painful falls you endured, I have intimately seen them all, and I have already released my grace to heal them. The enemy desperately wants you to use your darkest past as a measuring tape for your worth. But I look at you entirely through the lens of redemption and blinding glory. It is time for you to stand up with holy defiance, violently shake off the heavy cloak of spiritual fatigue, and wake up before it is too late. My mighty angels are standing by, waiting for your command of faith to fight on your behalf, but they need your absolute, undivided focus. Do not look back at the doors I have personally closed. Do not mourn the relationships I deliberately severed to protect your fragile soul. Your promised future is infinitely brighter than anything your mind can possibly imagine. Close your eyes right now, take a deep breath, and hand every single one of those heavy burdens over to me. I am right here beside you, holding you tight, and I will absolutely never let you fall. My child, I see how incredibly exhausting it has been for you to constantly play the role of the strong one. You have spent so much of your life carrying the heavy burdens of everyone around you, meticulously trying to fix every problem, manage every crisis, and keep all the fragile pieces of your world from falling apart. But in the quiet, lonely moments of the night, when the doors are finally closed and the world goes completely silent, your own soul is desperately crying out for rest. You have tried so fiercely to control the outcomes of your life because deep down you are terrified of being vulnerable again. You falsely believe that if you let your guard down for even a single second, everything will completely collapse. But I am telling you today with absolute authority, you were never meant to carry the crushing weight of the world on your shoulders. That is my job. I am the creator of the universe, the orchestrator of time, and the author of your destiny. Why do you continue to exhaust yourself wrestling with circumstances that I have already resolved in the heavenly realm? I am asking you to do something that feels absolutely terrifying to your human mind. I am asking you to completely let go of control. Surrender is never a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate, most powerful declaration of faith. When you finally release your incredibly tight grip on the situations you cannot change, you instantly make room for my miraculous intervention. The enemy desperately wants you to stay trapped in a vicious cycle of relentless striving, constantly convincing you that your worth is directly tied to how much pain you can endure. But your worth was eternally settled the very moment I breathed life into your lungs. You do not have to work to earn my profound love, and you do not have to strive and stress for my blessings. They are a free, magnificent gift waiting for you to simply open your exhausted hands and receive them. Look at your hands right now, my beloved. Spiritually, they are full of the bitter ashes of your past, full of the grievances you stubbornly refuse to let go of, and full of the anxious backup plans you have made out of pure survival mode. You cannot possibly receive the beautiful, overflowing abundance I am pouring out from heaven right now if your hands are already clenched tight around what used to be. You must release it. Give me your hidden shame, the mistakes you constantly replay in your mind, and the deep regrets that keep you awake at night. Hand over the betrayals that still sting your heart and the apologies you never received from those who broke you. I am the ultimate restorer of broken things. I do not just put a bandage over your wounds, I completely resurrect what was dead and breathe brand new, vibrant life into your weary bones. The massive shift you have been desperately waiting for is entirely dependent on your willingness to surrender. Do it now, let it all go, and fall freely into my absolute, unending grace, my beloved child. Now that you have finally learned how to let go and place those heavy burdens safely into my hands, I need you to open your spiritual eyes and clearly see the brand new reality I'm preparing for you. Do not let the enemy continue to deceive you into believing that you are still hopelessly stuck in the muddy trenches of your past. The absolute truth is that your chains were completely shattered the very second you decided to surrender. Yet you are still tiptoeing around as if you are bound by heavy iron. The adversary has absolutely no real power or authority left to hold you captive. His only remaining weapons are cheap illusions and relentless lies. He desperately wants you to believe that you are still the exact same weak, broken version of yourself from yesterday, still carrying unhealed wounds and doomed to repeat old failures. But I am declaring over your life today, you are a completely new creation. The painful, tear-stained pages of your old chapters have been permanently closed, and a vibrant, glorious new chapter is actively being written by my very own hand. The intense spiritual fatigue and overwhelming distraction you have been enduring lately were nothing more than the kingdom of darkness, making one last, desperate attempt to stop you from walking through the door of your massive breakthrough. The enemy knows perfectly well that if you just take one more courageous step in absolute faith, his entire stronghold over your life will completely crumble into dust. I am fiercely calling you out of the cold shadows of self-doubt and deep insecurity. How many times have you quietly told yourself that you are simply not good enough, not worthy enough, or not strong enough to receive the magnificent blessings I have promised? That is absolutely not your voice, and it is certainly not mine. That is the toxic whisper of a defeated enemy who is absolutely terrified of the limitless potential I have placed inside your soul. When I look at you, I do not see a list of mistakes, delays, or failures. I see a breathtaking victory. I see a fierce, resilient warrior who has bravely survived unimaginable storms. It is time for you to stop shrinking yourself down just to feel a false sense of safety, or to please people who do not have the spiritual capacity to understand the massive calling on your life. You were never created to live a mediocre existence, constantly tossed around by meaningless distractions and the petty anxieties of this temporary world. Wake up right this second. Stand up tall and take hold of the supreme authority I've freely given you. When you boldly walk in strict obedience, every single step you take violently shakes the heavens and permanently shatters the wicked plans of the enemy. I am actively opening unprecedented opportunities and massive doors of grace right before your eyes. But to walk through them, you must fiercely guard your mind. Stop feeding on toxic thoughts and completely cut off the worldly noise that drains your spiritual energy. Instead, completely saturate your weary soul with my eternal promises. I have already prepared a glorious banquet for you, right in the presence of your enemies, but you must boldly step up to the table. Do not hesitate for a second longer, my beloved. Your greatest hour has finally arrived, and all of heaven is eagerly waiting for your decision. My beloved child, as you courageously step through the door of surrender and cast off that old, heavy cloak of doubt, I need you to prepare your spirit for an unprecedented, massive restoration. Listen to me very carefully, because what I am about to declare will shape the entire remainder of your life. The enemy has been using one of his most cruel and silent weapons to relentlessly attack your mind, the fear of time. He constantly whispers in your ear that you are simply too late, that you have already missed the greatest opportunities of your life, and that every door to your promised glory has been permanently slammed shut. He desperately wants you to look back at your past with a heart heavy with crushing regret, mourning the years you believe were completely wasted on the wrong relationships, dead-end jobs, or decisions you consider to be massive failures. But I am revealing a staggering truth to you right now. I am the supreme creator and the ultimate master of time. I am absolutely never bound by space, by age, or by any of the harsh, limiting rules of this temporary world. Today, I am giving you a holy, unbreakable promise of absolute restoration. I will fully repay you for the years that the fierce storms violently washed away, and the seasons that were destroyed by sheer despair. The restoration I am bringing is not just handing back what you lost. It is the breathtaking miracle of divine multiplication. The tiny seeds of prayer you planted in the pitch-black darkness, watered by your bitter tears and seemingly dead, are actively sprouting right now and will bring forth a massive harvest in overwhelming joy. What takes other people decades of grueling human effort to build, I will effortlessly accomplish in your life in a single breathtaking moment of grace. This is your season of holy acceleration. However, to receive this heavy rain of blessings, your mindset must completely shift. You cannot possibly walk into your promised land carrying the toxic mentality of a victim or a constant feeling of lack. I am commanding you to put on the royal cloak of holy authority and unshakable confidence. Wherever you walk from this day forward, hold your head high and know with absolute certainty that my glorious light is completely covering you. The deep peace inside you will be so fiercely powerful that it will instantly shift the atmosphere in every room you enter. Financial doors, miraculous physical healings, and beautiful God-ordained relationships will automatically swing open for you without you having to force or fight for them. The enemy will try to terrify you with this sudden abundance. He will try to plant the toxic thought that you do not deserve this much happiness, or he will make you panic that these good things will quickly vanish. Never compromise with that pathetic lie. The blessing I give you is permanent, complete, and adds absolutely no sorrow to it. Open your heart wide, completely relax your clenched fists, and be ready to receive. Do not limit my infinite power with your small, logical thinking. Every single one of your fragile tears has been carefully collected by my hand, and now is the exact moment I turn them into brilliant diamonds to light your glorious path forward. Smile and take a deep breath, my precious child, because the most radiant sunrise of your entire life officially begins right this very second. My precious child, as you step out of the cold shadows of your past and into this season of divine acceleration, I must reveal another crucial tactic the enemy has used against you. He did not just want to distract your mind. His ultimate goal was to completely silence your voice. He has studied you, and he knows a profound spiritual secret that you often forget. Life and death are entirely in the power of your tongue. The adversary knows perfectly well that if he can keep you complaining about your circumstances, crying over your closed doors, and constantly speaking words of defeat, he does not even have to fight you. You will unknowingly defeat yourself. He wrapped your mind in thick exhaustion and daily anxiety, specifically so that your prayers would become nothing more than weak whispers of desperation, rather than bold, earth-shaking declarations of victory. But today, I am permanently removing the heavy gag of fear, shame, and discouragement that the world has violently placed over your mouth. I need you to fully understand the staggering, undeniable authority I have placed inside you. You are not a helpless victim waiting for the storm to eventually pass. You are a fierce warrior equipped with the sharpest, most powerful weapon in the universe, my living word. When you open your mouth and speak my eternal promises out loud, you are not just uttering empty syllables into the air. You are giving direct, binding commands to the heavenly host. Every single time you choose to praise me, right in the middle of your deepest, most agonizing pain, a literal earthquake happens in the spiritual realm, completely shattering the heavy iron chains that have bound your family, your finances, and your destiny. Praise is not just a polite melody, it is the ultimate weapon of mass destruction against the kingdom of darkness. I am calling you to drastically change the way you speak, starting this very second. Stop calling people to complain about how massive and terrifying your storm is, and start boldly commanding the storm to bow down to how incredibly massive your God is. When you wake up in the morning, do not immediately reach for the toxic, endless distractions on your screen. Before your feet even touch the floor, open your mouth and loudly declare, I am highly favored, I am deeply loved, and this day is perfectly orchestrated by my Heavenly Father. Speak vibrant, healing life over your exhausted body. Command absolute divine order over your chaotic finances. Prophesy supernatural peace over your anxious children. Do you not realize that I am standing right beside you at this exact moment, eagerly waiting to back up your faithful words with the full, unlimited resources of heaven? Do not stay silent for another second, my beloved. Open your mouth, release your holy roar, and watch the enemy completely scatter in absolute terror. My child, as you begin to boldly speak life and step into this magnificent season of divine acceleration, there is one critical instruction you must absolutely obey. You cannot take everyone with you into this next chapter. I am drastically changing your spiritual altitude, and you can no longer survive on the toxic air of your past environments. I know your heart is incredibly loyal. You have spent years trying to pull others up, desperately trying to fix broken people, and sacrificing your own peace just to keep everyone else comfortable. But hear me clearly today. You cannot sacrifice your God-given destiny on the altar of someone else's dysfunction. The enemy knows exactly how deeply you love, and he has strategically placed individuals in your life who constantly drain your energy, plant seeds of severe doubt, and secretly resent the glorious light that you carry. You must understand that isolation is sometimes the absolute greatest form of divine protection. When I abruptly remove certain people from your life, when relationships suddenly end without a clear explanation, or when you find yourself standing completely alone, do not panic. Do not immediately run back and try to pry open the doors that I have firmly locked shut. You cannot possibly heal in the exact same toxic environment that brutally broke you. If you attempt to drag the heavy baggage of old, unhealthy relationships into this massive new season, they will eventually become the very anchors that drown you. I am requiring a holy separation right now. It is time to lovingly but firmly release those who are fundamentally committed to misunderstanding you. Release the people who only reach out when they need to consume your light, but completely vanish when you are sitting in the dark. I am not asking you to harbor bitterness. I am commanding you to be fiercely protective of the holy anointing I have placed upon your life. Do not look back. The breathtaking future I have prepared for you requires your absolute, undivided attention. If you boldly choose to obey me today and courageously walk away from what is comfortable but toxic, I will immediately bring divine, God-ordained connections into your life. I am actively sending people who will fiercely protect your peace, who will fan your spiritual flames instead of constantly trying to extinguish them, and who will confidently walk beside you into this massive breakthrough. Close your eyes right now, release the tight grip you have on your past relationships, and confidently step into the incredibly beautiful, elevated spaces I have prepared just for you. Your new tribe is waiting, my beloved child. Now that you have resolutely cut off those toxic ties and stepped out of the environments that were completely draining your spirit, I want you to lift your eyes and look at the much bigger picture. You are fighting a much greater battle than you realize, and you are actually winning. The enemy is not just trying to distract you because of your individual future. He is absolutely terrified because he knows exactly who you are. You are the chosen one. You are the one handpicked by heaven to permanently break the dark curses that have been deeply rooted in your family bloodline for generations. Have you ever wondered why your life has faced so many intense storms, so much painful rejection, and so many invisible barriers? Why it always felt like you had to fight so much harder than everyone else just to get a tiny sliver of peace? It is because you carry the heavy, glorious mantle of a trailblazer. You are a fierce warrior, anointed by heaven to put an absolute end to the relentless cycles of suffering, poverty, and severe emotional trauma that have been passed down from one generation to the next. The profound exhaustion and continuous distractions you have been enduring are simply the enemy's desperate final attacks to keep that dark cycle spinning. You have watched your loved ones fall victim to terrible habits, drown in perpetual financial lack, or wander endlessly through tear-filled heartbreak. The enemy desperately wants you to accept this as the inevitable fate of your bloodline and believe that you cannot possibly change the outcome. But I am declaring over you today, every single curse from the generations before you was completely shattered the exact moment you dropped to your knees and surrender. You are absolutely not a victim of your past, and you will never repeat the tragic mistakes or carry the heavy chains of those who walked before you. By my supreme sovereign power, I am actively establishing a brand new bloodline of massive blessing. And it all begins with your radical obedience. The enemy's pathetic lies that you will end up in miserable failure, like the others, are being completely exposed in the blinding light of my truth. When you bravely choose to walk in intense focus and keep your eyes locked entirely on my eternal promises, you are opening a massive gate of miracles, not just for yourself, but for your children and your children's children. The bitter tears you cried in sheer loneliness are actually watering incredibly fertile ground, where your future generations will reap true peace, magnificent prosperity, and absolute freedom. Do not let any fear or lingering insecurity slow your steps right now. This massive responsibility might feel too heavy for your shoulders, but my grace is more than enough to sustain you completely. Stand firm like a brilliant, blazing lighthouse in the dark night, my brave warrior. You are rewriting the entire history of your family with your own hands, and all of heaven is standing up, loudly cheering for your every single step. The heavy chains are permanently broken, and the darkness has absolutely no authority left to reclaim what I have placed in your hands. My precious child, as you stand boldly on the very edge of this massive breakthrough, having severed the toxic chains of your past and shattered the generational curses, you must now prepare yourself for the physical manifestation of my promises. The spiritual battle has already been decisively won in the heavenly realm, but I need you to be fully awake for what is about to happen in your earthly reality. The enemy knows he has completely lost his grip on your soul, so his final, desperate tactic is to create a terrifying illusion of chaos right in front of your eyes, just like the Israelites who stood trembling before the vast, impossible Red Sea with the furious Egyptian army rapidly closing in from behind. You might feel incredibly trapped right now. You might look at your current bank account, your frightening medical report, or the messy circumstances surrounding your family, and the enemy will scream into your ear that absolutely nothing has changed. He wants you to believe that your faith was foolish, that you have run out of time, and that you are about to be entirely consumed by the storm. But I am speaking directly to your spirit right this very second. The chaos you see around you is not a sign of your impending destruction. It is the exact, perfect environment where my greatest miracles are born. Do not stare at the terrifying waves. Do not look back at the approaching army of your past mistakes, your old fears, and the people who swore you would fail. I need you to lift your tear-filled eyes, stretch out your empty hands in absolute, unwavering faith, and command the waters of your adversity to part. You do not need to figure out the logistical details of how I am going to save you, or constantly stress over the timeline. Your only job in this critical moment is to trust me implicitly and keep moving forward. The massive breakthrough you have been violently crying out for is no longer just a distant spiritual concept floating somewhere in the heavens. It is actively downloading into your physical reality right now. You are about to see impossible, heavy iron doors effortlessly swing wide open. You are on the verge of receiving unexpected phone calls, sudden miraculous financial shifts, and divine God-ordained alignments that will leave you absolutely breathless with profound gratitude. But in this critical transition, you must fiercely hold your peace. Do not panic when the wind howls. Do not revert to your old habits of trying to forcefully make things happen in your own limited human strength. Stand completely still, silence the frantic noise in your mind, and witness the spectacular salvation I am bringing to you today. The grueling season of waiting is officially, permanently over. Take a deep, cleansing breath, release your very last drop of heavy doubt, and confidently step forward onto the solid, dry ground I have miraculously carved out just for you. My beloved child, as you step onto this dry ground and watch the terrifying waters of your adversity completely part, I want you to realize something profoundly important. The miracle is no longer just happening around you. The absolute greatest miracle has actually happened inside of you. The exhausted, broken, and fearful person who first started listening to this message is absolutely not the same person standing here right now. I have completely rewired your spirit. I have permanently replaced your heavy spirit of despair with a spectacular garment of praise, and I have traded the bitter, cold ashes of your past for a radiant crown of breathtaking beauty. The enemy is watching you right now in absolute, paralyzed shock. He threw his absolute best weapons at you. He tried to bankrupt you. He tried to shatter your heart. He tried to destroy your mind with relentless anxiety. But absolutely none of it worked. You did not break. You did not quit. You survived because my sovereign, almighty hand was holding you perfectly together when you thought you were completely falling apart. Now I am officially transitioning you from merely surviving into absolute, undeniable thriving. I am anointing your head with fresh holy oil right this very second, and your cup is about to overflow so massively that it will abundantly bless everyone connected to you. But as you step into this overwhelming season of provision, you must fiercely guard your brand new identity. Do not ever allow anyone to speak to you as if you are still the weak, broken version of your past. Do not tolerate toxic conversations that drag you back into the mud of gossip, fear, or small-mindedness. You are divine royalty. You are a chosen vessel, appointed by the Most High God, and you must walk, talk, and carry yourself with the staggering, undeniable dignity of heaven. When you walk into a room from this day forward, the entire atmosphere must instantly shift, because my heavy, glorious spirit is resting so powerfully upon you. The days of you shrinking back, hiding in the shadows, and quietly apologizing for the space you take up are entirely over. I have given you a powerful, authoritative voice, and I have given you an incredible, world-shaking testimony. The very pain the enemy meant for your ultimate destruction is going to be the exact story I use to bring ultimate deliverance and hope to thousands of others. People will look at the miraculous turnaround in your life, at your fiercely protected peace, at your suddenly restored relationships, and at your overflowing finances, and they will be absolutely forced to admit that only God could have done this. Do not hide your brilliant light for another second. Stand incredibly tall, square your shoulders, and fully embrace the magnificent authority I have placed upon you. The final curtain of your long, dark night has permanently fallen, and your glorious, unending morning has officially arrived. My beloved child, as we reach the culmination of this holy broadcast, I need you to understand that this very moment is your divine sealing. This is not the end of a message. It is the official, permanent beginning of your brand new life. The old cycles of heavy confusion, relentless spiritual exhaustion, and bitter crying in the dark have been completely dissolved by the fire of my presence. Look at yourself today through my eyes. You are no longer the wandering, distracted soul that the enemy tried so desperately to paralyze. You are standing firm on the unshakable foundation of my grace, completely awake, fiercely focused, and fully aligned with your heavenly calling. Every single trap that the adversary laid out to steal your precious time, destroy your deep peace, and delay your massive breakthrough has backfired completely. Instead of breaking you, the intense fire of your trials has only refined you into a magnificent vessel, capable of carrying the heavy, blinding weight of my glory. I am giving you one final, holy decree for this new season. Walk forward with absolute, unwavering boldness. Do not look back at the ashes of your past. Do not second-guess the closed doors I have personally locked for your protection. And do not ever entertain the toxic whispers of self-doubt again. The full, unlimited resources of heaven have been completely mobilized on your behalf. My mighty angels are actively marching before you to level your impossible mountains, straighten your crooked paths, and prepare an overflowing harvest of provision that your mind cannot even fathom. All I require from you from this day forward is your absolute, daily surrender and your undivided attention. When the worldly noise attempts to rise again, immediately silence it with my word. When fear tries to creep back into your mind, violently shatter it with your loud roar of praise. You are my deeply loved, highly favored, and fiercely protected child. Your season of prolonged delay is officially over, and your era of spectacular manifestation is here. Take one more deep, cleansing breath. Completely let go of the very last remnant of your anxiety, and confidently step into the beautiful, wide open spaces of your promised land. I am with you always, even until the very end of time. If you truly believe that your massive breakthrough is happening right now, confirm your faith by typing Amen in the comments below and share this urgent message to instantly light up someone else's dark path today. Your glorious morning has arrived, and it will never fade away.